Welcome back to Chapter 2 of the Big Picture Ag Read Your Crop Story series. We're out here for the second check of the season to take a look at the crop. We're at about V5, and the crop is just getting to that point where it's ready to take off. It's extending roots, the plant's growing up, it's getting into the fertility. Things are really getting ready to rocket from this point on. It's a perfect time to take a look at a few different things, such as what type of conditions do our roots have to get started on? How are our plants getting started? What's our root extension looking like? Got a couple of other tips that I wanted to share with you for being able to stage your crop later in the season, and also just some other things that we look at in the environment, trying to assess what kind of potential does our field offer us, what kind of potential has our crop got, looking at what things are starting to happen out here. So it's an exciting time, it's a great time, and I hope you'll join along with me. This is a perfect time of the year as our plants are going into the rapid growth stage. They're extending their roots. They want to go as far as they can, as deep as they can. It's the ideal time to use a soil penetrometer to see if we've got any compaction layers or at what point our roots are going to start having struggles to get through. So let's watch it as we go down through here with it real quick. We'll see what happens, and you'll see as we get it into place here. You can see as we get started down through here, it goes very easily, very easily, very easily. And right there we hit 200, and we're 12 inches down at the point that we hit 200 psi. We'll go ahead and extend it on down. And hopefully I didn't get in the way, you could still see that, but we never did quite get to 300, and we've got it fully extended, which is 27 inches down. So in my mind, that's pretty good. We've got a lot of good things happening here. This is kind of the kind of field we'd like to be working in, because we know that we've got good potential for our roots to go down. So I did dig a couple of plants out of the ground. Obviously we're at V5 here. It's a great time to see how our root extension is starting on these plants, making sure that we don't have compaction slowing them down this soon in the season. As you can see here, both of these plants are doing really well. I did happen to dig one from each, the untreated and the Invigorate trial. The Invigorate's on the right side, and you can see there's a little bit better root extension and some things happening here. Just a little bit additional leaf length in the top. But overall, all of these plants are off to a good start, and it's going to bode well for getting into the season. I don't know if you've ever tried to stage a corn plant later in the season, but after it gets a little bit of size to it, they tend to slough off a couple of the lower leaves. And as you get farther into the season, sometimes it can be a challenge to really know exactly where that plant's growth stage is at. So what's a simple way to fix that? Fasten a simple zip tie around. I do it on these plants. We're at V5, so I know that from the rest of the season I can count this plant. I can go up from there. I put it loose enough that the plant's going to grow and never have a problem with it. So it's just a quick little easy trick to do. Let me just take a second to extend another thought to you as we do this. If we go down through here, I actually found another plant and put one on it a little distance away, and I'm going to show you why. As you can see right here, we had a herbicide application done yesterday, and you can see we got very close to the flag test. One of our other tests, we actually had sprayer blight, went right through the middle of it and took a few plants out of it. So always being prepared, thinking ahead, just an extra couple zip ties for things like that sure makes your life a lot easier down the road. I was out here in this field earlier this morning with the producer looking at the corn a little bit, and I made mention of all of the earthworm activity he had going on. And we started looking at that because he'd never really paid attention to the activity that he's got going on here in his field. So if we walk down through here, you can just see a whole ton of these little mounds. You can see one there, there's one up there, there's one here, one down here. As we scan down through here, there's just a whole lot of worm activity where they piled the residue over the top of their holes. And to me, that's a great thing to see out in the field. And the way you check that, obviously, just by looking at them, but when you pull the top off of that, right there, you can see the hole that he made coming up. On this one, he's right in there. Over here, and there it is right there. So all of these are activity of earthworms coming up to the top of the ground, collecting the residue over the top of their holes, but also pulling it down into their tunnels where they consume it and create the most nutrient-rich plant available castings available for our plants. So personally, I love to see earthworms happening like this, and I think it's a good sign. I wanted to share another really important tool in the process of reading your crop story. This is a tool that we developed several years ago. It's a GDD chart that just gives us so much information, gives us the opportunity to assess our crop as we grow through the season. When we get to the end of the year, when we start to assess the story that our plants have told us, why did the yields end up where they did? There's a lot of information that can come from this GDD chart. So I wanted to share that with you today and kind of bring you up to date, let you get the first look at it. We'll be referencing this probably almost every week as we go through the season, just to look at what kind of conditions our crop has had, because that's an important part of it. So we'll just walk through it really quickly here for you to see what it is. You can see here we did set our planting date for April 15th, which is when it was. We come in, we put the daily high and low temperatures in. That's what we're showing here. The chart automatically adjusts that to, if it falls within the parameters, to figure our GDUs. And over here in this column, you can see it gives us our GDU accumulation as we go through the year. A couple of the other really cool things about this in regards to the temperature side of it, the two columns here that are in red are indicators if we have temperatures that fall outside of our GDU calculation numbers. The first one tells us if we get above 86. The second one is if we get above at 92, because at 92 our plants struggle more to cool themselves down. So we want to kind of be able to see as we go through that. When we move over here next to the low temperatures, you can see if we fall below 50, we get a 1 in this column. You can see here that we accumulated a few of those early in the season here. And then the second red one actually is if the nighttime temperatures stay at 70 degrees or above later in the season when we're in grain fill, that becomes a big factor for us. So those are some key things that we can look at here. I always like to come in and give us a little idea, what did we get for rainfall since last harvest? How well did we recharge the system? I wanted to put in the variety in this particular field, along with when we expect silking GDUs as well as black layer. And the column here, we've got daily rainfall, so we enter that in. And a couple of other columns here for just different things that you can keep track of as we go through the season. The note section here can be very handy. You can see in this particular instance, we've got, I made notes of when our emergence happened and some of the numbers that came through that. As you go down through here, the column here gives us the 30-day rain total, so it accumulates it at 30, 60, 90, 120 days, how much rainfall we've had within that period. And then at the bottom, it gives you the total accumulation for the growing season. As we go down through here, we make notes as to when we do different applications And folks, this is just a tremendous opportunity to keep track of a lot of great things, because when we get to the end of the year, sometimes we don't, it's hard to remember exactly what things happened for us, when we might have had rain, when we might have gotten dry, when it might have been hot. This just gives us so much ammunition to assess why our yields end up where they do. So I wanted to share that with you right at the moment in this particular field, and I don't know if I can get it to move. No, it doesn't want to move for me today, but we're at 502 GDUs right now. So we're at V5. That's the field that we did all of the work in here for the video. But anyway, this is a great tool. If it's something you're interested in working with, please reach out. I'm more than happy to share it with you. And it just becomes a tool as guys start to become proactive in their approach, looking at how the season's been and looking forward to what we can do. Is just a great tool. So there you have it. Just a few quick minutes. We checked several things. We can see that our crop's off to a good start. Our soil conditions really good still. We haven't had those big rains that choke our roots down. Really good conditions happening here. And I just hope that you'll join along with me next time as we look at some additional things. The next time we get out here, this crop's going to have a little more size to it. We'll be looking at some other ideas of what things we can track, starting to see if you've got trials. This is a great time to be looking at, is there separation starting to happen with different treatments, different hybrids, different whatever you might be checking. So I hope you'll join with me again, and look forward to seeing you next time with the Big Picture Ag Read Your Crop Story series.